It seems like I'm always hearing people complain about their homeowners association or HOA. Complaints of HOA fees and overstepping boundaries are rampant. Maybe they're restricting what type of plant is allowed in your landscaping bed, or telling you where you can, or worse yet, where you cannot park your car in your own driveway. Sometimes the argument against an HOA seems obvious. However, there is another side to this argument. I mean, you signed up for that HOA, you spent a lot of money to buy that home, and I'm betting somehow that you were aware of that homeowners association when you did so. So today, we're going to be looking at the pros and the cons of homeowners associations. Now stick around till the end here, because you may not have considered a couple of these, and they're really not listed in any particular order. Let's start right off with the pros of homeowners associations, and then we'll get on to those cons. After all, you pay for them, so there should be plenty of pros, right? Well, the first and perhaps the most common pro is that the resale value is often protected, as that HOA ensures that your neighbor isn't painting his house, pink, yellow, or purple. The HOA is ensuring that that neighbor keeps his lawn mowed and maybe the landscaping beds free of weeds, ensuring that the overall appearance of the entire area is kept up. Earlier this year, I helped a seller sell his home that was in an area that used to be in an HOA. It was great because nobody here had to pay that HOA fee anymore. As such, there was still a good bit of conformity in the entire neighborhood. It was a nice neighborhood in Deltona, Florida, where I've sold a ton of homes over the years. It was a pretty decent 3-2 pool home on a quarter acre. The seller was motivated to sell, and he was realistic when considering the comparable homes in the neighborhood, and he priced his home to sell. The problem was his neighbor, whose grass was like 12 inches tall, and his fence was literally falling over, well, at least what was left of it. And there were 2 or 3 broken down cars in his driveway. This home ended up selling for about 10 grand less because of that neighbor. The seller, my customer, offered to paint the neighbor's home and clean up the yard, but the homeowner refused, leaving both the seller and I a bit frustrated. Now, this situation reflects what can happen when there's not an HOA present. Just down the street, similar homes had an HOA of like $30 a month, and they just didn't have this concern. Another pro of a homeowners association is the amenities that they can provide. Amenities like swimming pools, fitness centers, maintenance of picnic areas and playgrounds, and utilities are all advantages of an HOA. Sometimes these advantages can be quite inexpensive too. One local HOA right here in Deland gets you a really nice swimming pool, cable TV, high-speed internet, and water for irrigation, along with tennis and pickleball courts, and access to several community centers with swimming pools, all for under $200 a month. Forget the utilities and everything else here. Just considering the expense, weekly maintenance and hassle of a swimming pool makes this a real pro of an HOA. Some HOAs even include lawn maintenance and even exterior maintenance of the building, including the roofs. Of course, these will likely cost you more, but in some circumstances, an HOA can be a great thing. I've heard of homeowners associations providing emergency services too, so it's pretty clear that a homeowners association can have some advantages, but whenever there's a pro, there's usually a con too. Before I get to the cons of homeowners associations, if you're finding value here, hit the like and the subscribe buttons. If you want to be notified when I post other videos like this, then hit that little notification bell down below. I'm betting that some of you are just rolling your eyes or getting red in the face because you hate your HOA. Look, I get it. I live out in the sticks myself, and I've said myself that I'd never live in an HOA. I love being left alone to do what I want to do. I'm grateful that there's nobody telling me what I can or I cannot do with my own home, which is likely the most common con of an HOA. Think about it, it's natural. Our kids don't want to be told what to do, and neither do we. There are all sorts of horror stories out there about HOAs behaving badly. Some good friends of mine recently had their vehicle towed away after leaving it parked in front of their home for just one night. They didn't even have any idea that it was even a rule about it. Now, they didn't make a big thing of it because they never even read the rules or regs of their HOA, but that doesn't mean they were happy about it. Mismanagement of HOAs can be nothing but another tax on living in an area. One neighborhood in Lake Mary, which is another city up on the north side of Orlando, has a beautiful swimming pool and a clubhouse, but it's been closed forever. But those HOA dues, they haven't stopped. That pool and that clubhouse are nothing but an eyesore and a reminder of their wasted dollars for their homeowners association. Homeowners associations can enact all sorts of rules. Rules like how you can decorate for the holidays. They might restrict when you put out your trash cans and when you pick them up. They can disallow hoses and toys to be left in your driveway and annoy you with seemingly trivial matters. HOAs can restrict what breeds, what size, and how many pets you have too. One customer of ours recently sold their home in an HOA after being told that they couldn't even make minor repairs to their vehicles in their own driveway. The state of Florida recently passed legislation to protect homeowners from their homeowners associations. The new laws restrict an HOA's ability to restrict a few things. Things like prohibiting work vehicles from being allowed to be parked in an owner's driveway and backyard gardens. So even the government is concerned about the power of some homeowners associations. Homeowners associations can cost a lot of money to manage too. They're often responsible for things we don't even think of. Things like that sign out front or the street lights and mowing of common areas. This money can be mismanaged. HOA members are often voted on because they're just likable people, or maybe they're the only ones that signed up. But they might be poor money managers or improperly or, worse, unethically handle the money that's intended to help the homeowners in that community. However, I've heard stories of professional management companies doing a poor job of management too. If you live in one of these companies with poor management, an HOA can really be a disaster. Homeowners associations often have the right to place a lien on your home too. If you don't pay the HOA dues, which could potentially arise without apparent cause, a lien can be placed on your home. If you fail to keep that lawn mowed, you can get fined. Sooner or later, that HOA is likely going to get their money too. Now, maybe you're thinking, so what? I'll just pay it when I sell my home. Well, the problem with this thinking is that by then you could have hundreds or maybe thousands of dollars of interest or penalties for non-payment. HOAs are really just another government that provides oversight. I noted earlier that I do not have a homeowners association where I live, so maybe there's some bias here. What are your thoughts? What am I missing? Let me know in the comments down below. My goal here is to provide a well-rounded conversation about the pros and the cons of a homeowner association. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.